Good morning, everybody. Why here with the WIP. It is Friday, the 29th of September. Oh my goodness, where has the time gone? It will be Christmas before we know it. I know you hate to hear that, right? Almost as much as I do. It will be Christmas time before we know it, friends. Anyways, I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being a subscriber. If you are returning, I really appreciate it. If you are new to my channel, today's a great day to be new. And I hope that you like what you see and want to stick around for some more diamond painting content. Oh, and also some shenanigans of the empty nesters is what I call my channel. I'm going to do this WIP and Chat a little differently than I have in the past. I will ramble because that's what WIP and Chat is. Well, WIP stands for work in progress, and chat is just that. We're going to chat. But I found this really cool list of questions to ask to get to know somebody. So the dog wants to whine every time I turn the camera on. I don't know what that is all about. He was laying here just being just as sweet and nice as he could be. And then I started talking to the camera and he decides to whine. Do you want to say hi, Benson? Is that what it is? Anyways, I found this curated list of questions to ask to get to know people, kind of like, I don't know, icebreaker questions or whatnot. Well, I broke them down into, because it was like 400 questions. So I broke it down into groups of questions, and we're going to start with the very first ones, and those are funny questions to ask a new friend. So this the next few or the next several WIP and Chats are going to be let's get to know why from TheBurgsrun. So, oops, sorry, I did not mean to bump the camera there. Let me see what the dog wants, and I'll be right back with you, and we'll get on those questions. Okay, so while I was checking on the dog, I also fixed the camera so that maybe I won't hit it again. So, anyways, I don't know what he wanted, but he did let me know that we forgot to open the curtain in the living room, so he can't look out and bark at the neighbors. He is a crazy little dog, but he's our crazy little dog, and we do kind of like him. So, anyways, back to this list of questions. It is like, I found like 400 questions. And so we're just going to use a curated list, and I broke them down into groups, not by subject matter or anything else, just strictly by the number of questions in each group. So let's move on to begin those. So if you got to choose your name, what would it be and why? If I could choose my name, I would choose my name because I love it. It was different. There weren't any other Yvonnes. Y stands for Yvonne. There were no other Yvonnes in school, so I didn't ever, I was never mistaken for somebody else or called by somebody else's name. I just really liked it. As I've gotten older, I have met, so in my school growing up, there were no other Yvonnes. I was the only Yvonne in the whole entire school. So as I grew up and got out of the neighborhood, I have met a bunch of different Yvonnes. So yeah, I really like my name. I like it because it's different. It's not your most common name of the year or whatever. I also named my children kind of different names as well. If I didn't name them different, I spelled it different. So their names were different as well. So that's what I would have called myself, and that is why. The only reason that I would have called myself anything different would be to have a shorter name, like Jane or Sue, or although I wouldn't have picked those names, but that was just an example. So, what TV show would you want to be in? And which TV show would you not want to be in? Well, are we talking about now, or are we talking about in my younger days? Let's see. I would not have wanted to be in Seinfeld. I love watching Seinfeld. I think he's funny, but I would not have wanted to be in Seinfeld because they always, somebody in every episode was for lack of a better term, the butt of the jokes. So I would not have wanted to be in Seinfeld. What TV show would I have wanted to be in? I don't know. I would have to pick one where the leading actor was like my crush or something. Like 911 Lone Star. The lead star in it is Rob Lowe. Oh my gosh, yes. I could definitely be in a show with Rob Lowe. Absolutely. So it wouldn't necessarily be anything about my personality or anything like that. It would just simply be that I love Rob Lowe and his comeback story. He is an amazing person, an amazing actor, and I definitely could be on a TV show with him. And do you have a secret talent? And can I do it right now? I do not have a secret talent. I guess my secret talent would be collecting craft supplies. I am really good at that. Really, really good at that. I played a instrument for many, many years growing up. I can't play it at all now, partially because I got braces when I was 40 and it changed the structure of my mouth. And so I can't, I've tried, and I can't because I hold my mouth differently now than I did when I was playing said instrument. So the answer to that is no. I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't play an instrument, I can't, I'm not a contortionist. I have no real, oh my gosh, I just saw an R up here and now it's gone. I have no real hidden talents or hobbies or anything. What you see is what you get. There's nothing hidden underneath. And when you were a kid, what name did you give your favorite toy or stuffed animal? You know, I never really, my childhood was not typical. So I didn't have the opportunity to have a favorite stuffed animal or a favorite toy. Nothing. We didn't have anything growing up. So I remember as a kindergartner, the night before I went to kindergarten, I mean, I'm telling you, I grew up with nothing. My grandparents or somebody bought me a pair of shoes, a pair of patent leather shoes. And I was so excited to have something new, something that was just mine. And I was so afraid that it would get taken away from me that I slept with my shoes. Yes, I slept with my shoes. And when I woke up the next morning, I still had them and I was able to wear them to school. So, I really didn't have a favorite thing. What I did when I was little was I would take the blanket of my bed and I would run the ribbon between my first two fingers, kind of like this. That was soothing to me, but it didn't necessarily have to be my blanket, just any blanket that had a ribbon around the edge, a cool ribbon. So, I didn't have a favorite anything because I didn't have anything. I know that sounds really sad, but I look back now and the experiences or non-experiences that I had as a child have made me who I am today. So would I go back and change anything? Probably not. But I did not have the best upbringing. So if you had a pet parrot, what would you teach it to say? Well, all of my childhood, I just wanted to be accepted. I wanted to feel love and acceptance. So my parrot would probably tell me that they loved me or that they missed me. Yeah, that would be it. That would probably get old after a while because, parrots have that voice. It would probably get old after a while. But that's ultimately what I would teach my parrot to say. The next one is, if you could make the ultimate sandwich, what would it be? Oh my. When I was growing up, we had a thing called the Dagwood sandwich. And if you are old like me, you remember the Blondie cartoons in the Sunday paper. And Dagwood would just make a sandwich with everything. Like it had everything on it, and tomatoes and lettuce and all the good stuff. Yeah, it would be a Dagwood sandwich. I love a good sandwich. Love, love, love a good sandwich. As long as it's on good bread. Like I can't do just the store brand sandwich bread. No, I got to have like real bread. Like give me some Pepperidge Farm something something. Love me a sandwich on good bread with crispy lettuce. And here's another fun fact. I only eat iceberg lettuce. Um, I love romaine lettuce. That's my favorite, but not for a sandwich. A sandwich and tacos require iceberg lettuce, and that's the only time that we use iceberg lettuce. Fun fact, right? But yes, it would be what is commonly referred to as a Dagwood sandwich. It would be everything because there's not anything that I don't like on a sandwich. Like I like all the lunch meats and all of the fun stuff. So it would definitely be a dogwood sandwich. A Dagwood, not a dogwood, a Dagwood sandwich. What's the funniest thing you've read recently? The funniest thing I've read recently? Read? I don't know. Read? I guess I would have to say maybe a meme on social media. I don't know. The funniest thing I've read lately. I haven't really read anything lately. Lately, I just diamond paint. So it has to be somebody's, probably a social media post or a meme or something like that. And then, let's see. Get a new color. Oh, the dog is back. So if he starts to barking, I apologize in advance. What item do you hope will be obsolete in 20 years? Oh my goodness. It would have to be the glucose monitoring system. I hope that in 20 years, nobody ever has to stick their finger again. I know that's a long shot. It'll probably never happen, but I'm telling you, I had to go through that where I had to stick my finger quite often, and that is totally no fun. But that being said, it is a life-saving piece of our medical device. But I hope that someday they find a cure for diabetes and nobody has to prick their finger again. So that would be my device that I hope is obsolete. I know you thought it would be something like a typewriter or something, right? Nope, a glucose monitoring system. I mean, they've come a long way with them now, and you can have the wearables that you only have to poke yourself. Well, you don't even feel it. That's the thing. I wear one of those now, and you don't feel it when you put it on. So it's not like pricking the end of your finger. So they've come a long way. I hope that someday they will find a cure and nobody will have to prick their fingers again for a daily blood sugar reason. And if you were famous, what would your stage name be? Oh my, if I was famous, I don't know. That's funny because I've never thought about that before. Never ever thought of myself as famous ever. So that, oh my goodness. So I would keep my first name and then I would probably change my last name because you don't want people to know all about your personal life. And so when you put your real information out there, you are sharing with the world um, everything, everything about you. So it would probably be something like, I don't know, um, oh, or I could shorten my name and have it be like Vaughn or Vonnie. Oh, let's just go with just one name, kind of like Charo or, oh my gosh, I'm aging myself, aren't I? Cher, and let's just call me Vonnie. I hated that as a nickname, but for a stage name, it's catchy and people would remember it. So that might work. Um, but I'm not a stage flashy kind of person, so that would probably never happen anyways. So, what character from a book or a movie do you relate to the most and why? Okay, who do I relate to the most and why? Um, Probably this is why it's my favorite movie of all time ever is Beauty and the Beast. Absolute favorite movie. So I guess I would relate to Belle because I love to get lost in a book. I think that you can see the world through words on pages. And a well-written book is the most amazing thing in the world. A book that you can't put down, that just sucks you in and takes you into that world, whatever it may be, um, is amazing to me. And so I relate to Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and that, she had some adversity in her life as well, although different than mine. We did both suffer some adversity, and in the end, we found our true love. But I guess yeah, it would be Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Love, love, love her. Love the movie. I'm just a Disney freak. What can I say? Who do you think will be playing on oldies radio in 30 years? Oh, Taylor Swift. Come on now. She's been playing forever, and at some point she becomes irrelevant because the Swifties are old. Kind of like, I grew up with my parents listening to the Beatles and their oldies. So yeah, it would be Taylor Swift, most definitely. Carrie Underwood, those types of people. And what is a food combination people eat that you can't get behind? For example, dipping French fries into Frosties. Yeah, that I could never do. Oh my gosh. Never, ever, ever. My food combination is ketchup and anything. I absolutely despise ketchup. So ketchup and French fries, ketchup and anything, ketchup on a hamburger. I will turn a hamburger back to the kitchen if it comes to me with ketchup on it. When I order in a restaurant, which is very, very rare that we go to restaurants, but yeah, ketchup is my one food. So any combination that requires ketchup. So people put ketchup on meatloaf. I can't eat the meatloaf if it has ketchup on it. Yeah, it's a thing. I love tomatoes. Uh, despise ketchup, but there's a story behind that. I grew up in an era where parents were told to feed their kids liver, that it was good for them, and the only way that I could ingest said dinner was to use a bottle of ketchup. I mean, literally a bottle of ketchup. And so to this day, I can't eat ketchup anymore. I just can't. Every now and then, I'll try it again just to see, because taste buds change as you get older. But I think it's more of a mental thing than anything. It just, I don't know. I just can't do it. Again, we go back to a childhood that wasn't all that great, and that it might just be a mental thing that takes me back to a day that was not so happy. So there's that. But ketchup in anything, absolutely anything. I like cocktail sauce that has ketchup in it. I mean, it's just weird. I just can't put ketchup on anything. And so my husband, the sweetheart that he is, if I am ever on a diet and French fries are not a part of it, he will slather it in ketchup because he knows I will not snitch a French fry. Isn't that sweet of him? Not. Anyways, so it would be ketchup and anything. The other thing I don't like is chocolate and fruit. Like my husband's favorite Christmas candy is that chocolate orange that you smash it and it breaks into segments and it's got orange in the middle. Yeah, I can't do that. The only chocolate and that I can do with a fruit is a chocolate covered strawberry. So chocolate and fruit and ketchup and anything. So I just can't. I can't with the ketchup. What's the one item you can't live without? I would have to say the one thing I can't live without would be my cell phone or a cell phone. I use it all the time. I use it for content creating. I use it for picture taking. I use it at work. I use it, I play, I don't play many games, but I do have some games on it. Yeah, my cell phone is like my handheld computer. So, I do have a laptop and a desktop and all that kind of good stuff, but I think it all comes down to the phone in your hand. Um, that being said, there's a time and a place for a phone. The dinner table is not a place for a phone, so we make it a point to put our cell phones down during dinner. And fun fact, we still sit at the kitchen table, actually the dining room table, and eat dinner every night. That's important to me. I think it makes, and no TV is on. So it makes us unplug and talk. It's just Em and I. So it's not like we're entertaining anybody, but even the two of us can get complacent in using our electronics rather than having a conversation. So we implemented dinner at the kitchen table some time ago, 2020-ish maybe. And when the kids came to stay with us in between their military assignment, they we ended up eating in the dining room. And so when they left for their assignment in New York, we continued to eat in the dining room. And we just really like it. It's, again, I do use my camera every day at dinner to take pictures of our dinner, because my girls and we share our dinner pictures when we cook. Well, I cook all the time. So I started this chat group with them as a way to maybe get them to want to cook at home rather than go out to eat. So we share our dinner pictures every night. So every night when we walk into the dining room, I take a picture of our dinner, and then we put the phone away. So we don't answer the phone during dinner. We don't play a game. We don't text. We don't do any of those things during dinner. So yeah, that was a little off subject, but it is the one item that I can't live without. And what's your favorite line in a movie? Oh my goodness. Okay, my next favorite movie of all time is along the same lines as Beauty and the Beast, but it is Pretty Woman. And my favorite scene in that movie is when she's trying to buy clothes, and she goes back and tells, when she finally gets somebody to help her and she buys all those clothes, she went back and she said to the lady, "Remember me? you wouldn't help me. You work on commission, right?" Huge mistake. Huge. It's my favorite line in the whole movie. I just love it. It makes me giggle every time I hear it. And if you could attend any celebrity wedding. Okay, so I am not. Em and I are very, very much introverts. People who know me have a hard time believing that about me, because once I get to know you, I don't sound like an introvert. But it's the getting out the door to go somewhere to do something. I would prefer to just be home in the comfort of my own home. I am a wallflower when I go somewhere and I don't know anybody. I'm not a conversation starter. I'm just not that. My mom and my daughters can go to the grocery store and be friends with the people behind us in line by the time we leave. I just can't. I don't have it in me to have those kind of. I don't know. I just can't. I mean, we have lived in our house for 10 years and I don't even know our neighbors. I mean, we just stay inside. We aren't yard work people, so somebody else does our yard work. And so we don't meet our neighbors, and I'm not going to go over there and knock on the door and say, "Hi, my name is Y and I live next door. I've been there 10 years and sorry, we haven't spoke." Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. So that being said, there is not a celebrity wedding that I would want to go to, because although I love to get dressed up and my job requires that sometimes, I do not like being put in a situation where I am uncomfortable. And I believe a celebrity wedding would constitute uncomfortable, just because, I'm not rich and famous, and I'm not extroverted enough to put myself in that situation. Yeah. So no, I would say I would not. I would probably decline a wedding. If I was made to answer that question, I would have to say Oprah. Why? Because everybody wins. I don't know. I don't know. There isn't. I'm not a big enough fan of celebrity to be able to make that call. But I think if you went to Oprah's wedding, you'd probably get a heck of a grab bag, right? Anyways, so what was your kindergarten teacher like? Again, I did not have the best upbringing. I did not have the best childhood. I mean, I just have had a really rough life. I couldn't tell you who my kindergarten teacher was. And so I find it amazing when I talk to some of my friends and they're like, oh yeah, my first grade, my second grade, my third grade. And I'm like, really? You remember that? I don't know if maybe I have blocked parts of my childhood out because they were not favorable. They weren't normal. They were anything but normal. And so maybe I have just blocked all that out. I don't know. The first teacher that I can remember was my 5th and 6th grade teacher, or maybe it was 4th and 5th. I don't remember. But I had the same teacher 2 years in a row. And it was the first time that I knew anybody with my name. It was her middle name. And she changed her name after meeting myself and my father to use her first name. It was an initial, and so she was J Yvonne after that. So there is that, and I adored her. But anyways, that's the earliest that I remember. And if you could meet any author, who would it be and why? Okay. There are two. I have two very favorite authors. I think that one of them has passed on now, but books are still being written in her name. I am a huge true crime buff. Huge, 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 huge. So, Anne Rule would be the first one. I just love reading her books. Yeah, Anne Rule would be one of them. I want to know what other kind of types of people not only read, but write the memoirs of twisted people. I don't know. True crime is my favorite genre. The other author is one that I started reading way, way, way back when. I want to say the 80s, maybe. I don't remember. But it's V.C. Andrews, and she wrote, the first book was Flowers in the Attic. And I think I can relate to her, not her, but the books because of my childhood. Of course, I didn't have a rich grandmother downstairs, but those kids went through hell and back. Yeah, I would have to say those are my two favorite. Now, V.C. Andrews is fiction, and Anne Rule is true crime. So those are my two favorites. Let's see. If you wore one, what did your prom dress look like? Again, I didn't have the best upbringing. I never went to a prom. I think junior high, I went to a dance or two during a moment of normal in our life. But I do mean just a moment of normal. My dad remarried and went to live with him and my stepmom, and she tried to make life a little more normal for us. Um, yeah, it was short-lived, very short-lived. I never wore a prom dress. So when my children were, when my oldest was, I was only 17 when I had her, so I was growing up with her, and so I kind of lived vicariously through her prom days. So that was a lot of fun, taking her prom dress shopping and whatnot. But as far as me, I never went to a prom or a dance at high school. Just simply because, I mean, I had boyfriends and everything, but it just wasn't, it wasn't me to go to a prom. And if you could be any kind of animal, what would it be? Oh my goodness, this one's easy. If I could be any kind of an animal, it would be the animal that lives in my house. Whether it was any of the 5 dogs before Benson or Benson, because oh my gosh, the life of a Burgess dog is, oh my gosh, spoiled. Yeah, I would love to have the life of a dog that lives in my house. They are, I don't know, they are more spoiled than the kids were. I'm telling you, we just love our animals here. So it would be a dog that lived in my house, or a sloth, because sloths are my spirit animals. Yes, or a sloth. Okay. Is a hot dog a sandwich? No. And never, ever should a hot dog have ketchup. Just saying. A hot dog is a hot dog, not a sandwich. A sandwich is between slices of bread. A hot dog roll is not slices of bread. I don't know, but then you have sub sandwich, which is not between slices of bread. That's a really good question if you really stop and think about it. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Personally, I say no. A hot dog's a hot dog. A sandwich is a sandwich. Because when you ask somebody what kind of sandwich do they want, you don't say you want a hot dog. No, a hot dog is a hot dog. A sandwich is a sandwich. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Good question, though. And have you ever seen a ghost, and where? The only ghosts I've ever seen are the ghosts in the Haunted Mansion at Disney World. I am not a believer in ghosts. It's just me. I just don't. Nope, never seen a ghost. Never, ever, ever. Just the ghosts that come home with you from the Haunted Mansion. It's so funny. Anyways, that's it for me. The only ghosts I've ever seen are at the Haunted Mansion. Which is the best Ben and Jerry's ice cream flavor? All right. First of all, I am not a fan of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, so I don't really know the flavors. My favorite ice creams come from Turkey Hill, and my favorite ice cream of all time is mint chocolate chip. It is the best. It is the bomb. I love it. And ice cream, my saying, it's never too cold for ice cream, and it's never too hot for coffee. My husband sees that a different way. He was like, how can you eat ice cream when it's like 12 degrees outside? Because it's never, ever too cold to eat ice cream. Ice cream is one of my favorite food groups. Yes, it's a food group, people. It's a food group. How many languages can you say hello in? Oh, maybe 3. Spanish, French, and English? I don't know. Hola, bonjour, and hello. I probably know more because, hi is so easy. I probably know more, but I can't think of it right now. But I would say 3. And what was your first email address? Oh my gosh, my first email address is still my email address. Can you believe that? Yes. So I got an email address back in the beginning of the 90s. Yeah, I keep getting these cool anniversary things. It was a Yahoo email address, and it is still my email address today. It's not the one that's listed on my channel here, but because that's a Gmail address, but it is a Yahoo address. I still use it. It is still my main email address. And I've had it for a very long time, 30 some years. Yeah, very long time. So there's that. And so if you're still watching, let me know if you still have your very first email address. You don't have to tell me what the email address was or is, just whether or not you have the same email address that you had for your first one. And then, have you ever made my last question? My last question of this group of questions is, have you ever made a prank phone call? All right, this is going to put some age to me because, you know, we don't have phones at home anymore and you can't make a phone call anymore without people knowing who you are. But have you ever made a prank phone call? Unfortunately, I can say yes. So when you would spend the night over at your friend's house or have a party or anything like that, the thing to do back in the day was to call and make prank phone calls. And this was before they had that, what was it, star 69, where you could call back the number and find out who it was. No, this was back before all this modern tech stuff. But it also was a crime to make prank phone calls. So you had to be careful. Like you couldn't, it had to be somebody that you knew that you were making a joke with or whatever, because, you know, there was always that thought that you could get caught and it was a crime. So that is the group of questions for today. Yeah, I just thought it would be fun to pull up these questions and read some of them and um, get to know why better. So I'm being very honest with my answers to the questions. And so if any of you are interested in the list of questions that I have, my email is listed on my About tab on my channel. Or you can email me at theBurgsrun@gmail.com. So it's the name of my channel at gmail.com. And I'd be happy to share it with you. It is a very long list of questions, just, you know, kind of like icebreaker questions, just to get to know one another. I am an open book. What you see is what you get. That's just how I am. I've always been that way, brutally honest. Yeah, it's just who I am. So, yeah, if you're interested, email me. I'll email you a copy of these questions and you can join along if you want to, if you're looking for something to fill your WIP and Chat time. Or so to end this, I need to let you know that I am almost finished with this. You guys, I'm almost finished with it. Let me see if I can move you down a little. I have just that little strip left to go. This is my canvas for Drills and Chills 2023, as well as the Disney Paint Along with Friends, Paint Along with Friends Disney Edition Part 2. We did it in July and then we did it again in September. I love Disney. Benson is saying hello, by the way. I love Disney, and most of my canvases I can fit into a Disney genre somehow. Plus I have some just actual Disneys. This one is a Jasmine Beckett Griffith. She is also an artist that is featured at Festival of the Arts at Epcot in Disney World. So she does a lot of princesses and Disney type, a lot of Alice in Wonderland, which is not my favorite, but yeah. So I'm almost finished with it, and then I will do a post review. So the next couple of WIP and Chats may still be doing this. Whoops, knock that over. May be finishing this canvas, or I may surprise myself and finish it early. And whoop, there's another one. And be starting something else. But in the meantime, I will just be answering these questions for you guys. It's been a lot of fun. It's kind of neat. Some of the questions take me back to my childhood, and not that I want to remember the childhood, but you know, it was still part of me, a part of my upbringing. So some of it is going to be kind of neat. I really like the questions that were asked in this group of questions. So anyways, I will let you go, and don't forget to answer my question. And that is that. Again, thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fab day, everybody. Whoa!